Of course, your PR guy Nick is always here with you. But when you're come back to Golden State, do you feel like it's kind of like you get high school reunion vibes at all when you come back here?
No, I went to high school in Jersey.
You know what I mean? As far as like, being back with a group of guys that you're familiar with.
No, it's always great to see guys like Steph, Clay. Unfortunately, obviously, won't see Draymond tonight, but I stay in touch with him. So it was many years ago, but I enjoyed my 2 years here, and anytime I have a chance to see anybody that worked with in the past, it's always great to reconnect. Hey. Well, yeah, hopefully we can apply a lot of it. I felt that I could hear you even though the mic wasn't on. Yeah. But hopefully we can take a lot because I thought our defense, especially on Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, was great. Every time we talk about Golden State when we played them, it's always about the three-point line first and foremost. You have to try to, as much as possible, make them play inside the three. And to hold, I think Steph was 3 of 13 that night, and Klay was 3 for 10 that night. Those are numbers that you don't see very often. So we've had 2 very competitive games against them. Obviously, now they're in their building; they'll have the home crowd. I know they've been mixing their lineup a little bit, but this will be a hell of a road challenge for us.
Regarding Draymond and your relationship with him, whenever the Warriors talk about his suspension, they always go back to how they want him to come back better as a person, then come back better as a player. What do you think about that? Whatever he's, and I don't know if you know what he's going through or how public you want to be with that, but what do you think about that being the focus, that the person needs to be the focus in order to get right?
Oh, I would agree. Obviously, even though I coached Draymond years ago, and even though we stay in touch, I think the first time we played them this year, he wasn't with them because of family situation. But there's a relationship there between Draymond and I. So part of me feels like it's none of my business is how they're handling it. But I think in general, to your point, we always talk about family in our locker room, and I'm sure Steve does the same here. This group has been through a lot together, and they've won at a very high level. And so I'm sure they feel like a family as well. And they want what is best for Draymond Green. And first and foremost, it's not Draymond the player, it's Draymond the person, the man, the son, the father. And they want him to come back the best version of himself. And when he does that, and I know he will, that will allow him to be the best version of himself on the court. But if you don't take care, this is for anybody, if you don't take care of yourself, you're going to have a hard time going out there and doing whatever it is that you do to the best of your abilities. So, I know for me, I can't speak for anybody else, but, I care about Draymond and I want what's best for him as well. And I hear he's coming back soon, and that'll be great because, he's one of the guys that, you love to see out there, just how competitive he is and the leader that he is.
Coach, with KCP, what kind of humility does he have as a player? I'm sure he'd like more touches, and he's the one that always gets the tough defensive assignment. Can you just talk about his impact on the team, his value on the team, and does it get perhaps the attention it deserves?
Well, I'll answer that last one first. No, it does not. I think KCP is probably the one that doesn't get hardly the recognition that he deserves. If you talk to anybody in our locker room, our nickname for him is First Team. We think he's a first-team All-NBA defender. And he does it every single night, Mark, to your point. He's asked to go out and guard the other team's best player. And I don't run many play calls for him. He gets his offense throughout the flow of the game and just our style of play with ball movement and body movement. But he understands the importance of his role. He's a 2-time world champion. We would not have won a championship last year without his impact, his leadership, and his ability to impact the game at a high level on both ends of the floor. He can go up and lock up a guy, and then the other end he's going to shoot 40-plus from the three-point line. And it's just when I think of him and our team, I just couldn't even think of a better fit for our group than Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. And hopefully this year he'll start getting the recognition that he fully deserves. Yeah, I think so. I think the two guys that really embody that, and a lot of guys embody that, but I think Aaron Gordon is in the same vein as KCP. Aaron Gordon in Orlando was like the man, and they, kind of he had the ball and they featured him. And here, obviously, we have so much talent on our team. You have Jamal Murray, who's playing at an all-star level right now. In our last 12 games, we're 10-2, and Jamal has just been fantastic during that stretch. You have Nikola Jokic, a two-time MVP and a Finals MVP. You have Michael Porter. So I think two guys in Aaron and KCP, they fully have committed to being selfless. Getting over yourself, not about you, it's about the team, the collective. And that's a huge part of our culture that we've tried to instill for 9 years now. And when you have guys like Aaron and KCP living that every single day, that makes my job as a head coach so much easier.
Hey, Coach, right here. Just wondering how AG's hand responded the other night after playing a full game, and what are your thoughts on how he played in that game?
Yeah, it was just more importantly, Bob, it was just great having him back. In the locker room, on the court. Us being back at full strength, we're always at our best when we have all of our guys available. I think his hand got through that fine. I talked to him after the game, and I think there was one time where he went up and dunked the ball, and I think the contact with his hand on the rim, probably wasn't the most comfortable thing in the world. But Aaron's a tough kid, and I'm sure now this is a few days later, he's probably feeling a little bit better. But overall, I thought he was terrific. He went out there and played. He had missed a couple of games, and looked like he hadn't missed a beat.
Coach, Nikola Jokic loves his horses. When it comes to understanding what makes your players tick, have you gotten into horse racing at all? What do you guys talk about when it comes to the ponies?
Well, yeah, it's funny. I know some people kind of find it, somewhat comical that his passion is horses, but it's true. Like he loves his horses, and as I've known him now for 9 years, and he's had more and more success. His stable is getting larger and larger, and he has horses like racing all over Europe. But the only thing I can say to that, Kareth, is when I was over in Sombor one time, he allowed me to train the horse. And his brothers were really upset because they had never been afforded that same opportunity, and they couldn't believe I was. But then I think I blew it because I ran the horse way too hard, and Nicole was pissed at me and didn't speak to me for a while. So that might have been my one opportunity to train with his horse. But I think it's great. I think life is about balance, and you have to have a balance. And I think Nikola loves the game of basketball, but he also has a passion for his horses and his stable and all the people that work with him back in Serbia. Yep. Thanks, everybody.